Ricky, as you take a whiff, was that a whiff or a sip? I don't know.
That was a whiff because I don't want it to be gone before I talk about it. It's
talk.
funny. So earlier today, I had it started late last night. I had a discussion on Twitter about a brewing company. Happens to be this brewing company, and for the next 2 weeks is going to be this brewing company. About a couple of beers that they make in a limited release series that I'm not a huge fan of, and I've always said that this brewing company, I like their just basic daily drinking beers that you can get. Velvet Merlin is one of them. Merkin, in my opinion, which is a limited release beer, is super hard to get. It's not even in the same class as Merlin, and Merlin sits on the shelf for months. So Firestone Walker responded today and said that I don't even know exactly what they said, but they said I was being difficult or something. So it was funny that they called me out in this conversation, and I was like, no, they said I was being, I don't know, whatever.
You antagonize a lot of breweries. Have you noticed that?
I have an opinion, and if it doesn't necessarily fit the brewing companies, and the coolest thing, though, so the guy that I'm arguing with is like, oh, it's the best beer ever, and you're wrong, and your palate sucks. And I'm like, well, it doesn't, because we're both right. So that's the best part about craft beer is even if you think the beer that I drink and that I love is good and I don't like it or vice versa, we're both right. But anyway, so I grabbed a bottle of Firestone Walker Pale 31, and I haven't had this in a super long time. And I did a little research on it, and does anyone know why they call it Pale 31? I learned that today.
No idea.
No idea.
No, but I'm sure you're going to tell us.
I am. You want me to? No, I shouldn't. I should make you wait until the end.
So
Firestone Walker is in California, and they were the 31st state to be inducted into the union, so that's why they call it that. And it actually says in the label California Pale Ale, and I'm not sure I've ever seen that, so I don't know if that's just their way of branding and a marketing scheme, talking about how different brewing companies brand their pale, but it's super light in color, like almost. I just had before this. I had a hayseed from Smutty Nose, which is a saison, and that was even a little bit darker than this. But this is just super. Like the nose is all hops, like just a ridiculous amount of hops in the nose, and the flavor is quite hoppy. I don't know what the IBU is, and I'm going to look as soon as I'm done talking about it, but it's just got a fantastic flavor all around. And I rated it 3 the last time I had it on Untapped, and I definitely upped that rating this time because it's just a much better experience. And I haven't had a drink in a few minutes, and the hops they still coated the back of my palate, and I'm very impressed with it. And again, it's one of their basic beers. But what concerns me after I opened it and poured it and drank half of it is it says it was bottled on 11/17/14. So it's been sitting on the shelf for quite a while, but I don't feel like it doesn't taste like it has. So it's a fantastic beer and easy to drink, and to the point of being able to drink a couple of these in one sitting. You could probably sit down and have 3 or 4 of these and not even realize it.
Ricky, for lack of a better expression, well, I'm not gonna say that. If this makes sense, that beer looks like it drinks easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah. Which is really MO for Firestone, don't you think? Their Union Jack is light in the color on their malt build, and they're a West Coast brewery, so they're going to deliver that hop forward in whatever they do, and they do it well. It wasn't a criticism; it was just kind of a
Right, and I play golf, so I'm always looking for golf courses to add craft beer to their bev carts, and this would be a perfect example of a beer you could expect to see on a bev cart because it's got some flavor and it's a little bit hoppy, but at the same time it's something that I could drink and go play 18 holes. And
ABV?
Good question. I don't know.
Pale 31 is probably 3.1%.
4.9.
Oh, okay.
4.9. Is that I see Firestone is starting to can some of their beers. Is that one they're going to put in cans?
From what I know, no, but I can't imagine that. Pivo Pills they started canning, and it's so good in cans.
It is. It's incredible.
It's dumb how good that beer is.
Talking about bev carts on golf course, and I always think you don't want a can of beer on the golf course.
Yeah, they don't have to be cans, but you see aluminum bottles from some of the big macro brewing companies, and I could see this absolutely being something that's in cans and would fit well on a golf course.